Okay, so we are recording now.
Hello, world.
Do you want to join in?
No, I raised my hand.
But I didn't call him. Put your hands down. All right, area of a parallelogram. To find the area, it's kind of like rectangle. Rectangle's length times width. Parallelogram we do a little differently. We do base times height. So we're not looking at necessarily both sides of the parallelogram because we define height as the measure of a perpendicular line segment connecting the two bases. So we have one base on the bottom and the other base would be on the top. We need a line segment that connects them. Perpendicular means they have a right angle, they make a T. So when you're trying to decide which measurement to use, you wouldn't use 8 times 6 because the side that has a length of 8 meters does not make a T with the side that has a length of 6 meters. So we choose the side that has a length of 7 because it forms a T with the height of 6. When we're finding the perimeter of a parallelogram, we're still just finding the distance around. So that's just like a rectangle. So to find perimeter, this side is 8. The side across from it is also 8, just like in a rectangle. Those are true. The side on the bottom is 7. Raise your hand if you can tell me what the perimeter is. Aubrey.
8 plus 8 plus 6.
Oh, we're not going to add the 6. Because the 6 is not along the outside.
Hard point, boys.
We're so good. Hey, good job, you guys got a point. Okay, distance around means that we do not include the height in our calculations because that's not on the outside of our parallelogram. So we're only going to add the numbers along the outside. So what would we get as the perimeter? Rosa? 30, good. And would we say 30 meters or 30 square meters? Just M, good. So 7 plus 7 plus 8 plus 8 equals 30 meters. You can do a shortcut like Aubrey asked before by adding the 2 7s together and then by adding the 2 8s together. Okay, so to find the area of our parallelogram, area equals base times height. So we're going to use 7 as our base. Our height is 6. 7 times 6 is 42 square meters. Okay, there's one for you to try. I'm going to pause the video, so if you're watching this at home, you can pause it, try this, and then come back to check the answer. Okay, let's take a look at how we solve this. Volunteer to tell me how you find the perimeter. Trinity. Good. We're finding the distance around, so we need to add 15 plus 15 plus 12 plus 12. So 15 plus 15 plus 12 plus 12. Trinity, what does that work out to be? Good. 54 meters. Who can tell me how to find the area of that shape? Dalton.
15 times 10.
Okay, 15 times 10. How did you decide to use 15 instead of 12?
Because it's height. No, height.
Well, 10 is the height, but why did you use 15 as the base instead of using, you're correct, but
It's the
why?
base.
And how do you know it's the base?
Because it's the bottom one.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because the base does not always have to be the bottom. What did I say about how you know? Can anyone raise your hand and tell me how I know what the base is? Matt?
You would know the base because
Okay, so we're talking about how to determine what the base is. Okay, does anybody know? Matt, you were starting, but you weren't quite there. Rosa?
straight down.
Straight down, okay? What's a better way to say going straight down? Sam?
It makes a T with the height.
It makes a T, or it's perpendicular to the height. So that's how we know to use that. Dalton, what do I get when I multiply 15?
150 square inches.
Good. Oh, we need to change this too. This says meters. Should be inches.
She pinching. I said, ow. I didn't even. She should have done that.
Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about finding the perimeter and area of a triangle. So a triangle is like half of a rectangle. So the formula for a triangle is very similar to the formula for area of a rectangle or area of a parallelogram. Instead of just base times height, because a triangle is half of a rectangle, it's half of the base times the height. You are not going to have to memorize any of these formulas. They're always given to you when you take PSSAs, and when I give you your test on this, I will give you the formulas. But it helps to understand where they come from sometimes, because it's easier if you know what they are. Aubrey, question.
How is a triangle like half of a rectangle?
I'm glad you asked. If I put this triangle inside this rectangle, if I were to cut these two yellow ones off and put them together, they would make a whole nother triangle that's exactly the size of the blue triangle. No, I can't. I wish I had the capability to do that, but I don't.
It's hilarious.
I could do it later with this paper for you if you want to see it. Some people it helps to see it more completely. Okay, so using the formula, again, base times height means they make a T, they are perpendicular. So my height in this triangle is this perpendicular segment, which is 7.5, thank you. What is the base that I'm going to use on this triangle? Math.
9 plus 9.
Wait, I want to know what's the base.
Oh.
Make sure you're answering the right question.
10. What did you say?
No, the base is not 5. I want to know which number that's already up there. Matt Conover.
I can't see it.
Say it again.
10.
10. I'm going to use this segment as my base because it makes a T with my height. Okay, so this will be my base, this will be my height. Now when I'm finding perimeter, I'm not going to include the height because it's not on the outside of the triangle. When I'm finding perimeter, our point, okay, nice job guys.
Rock stars.
Drop the base.
Right.
Okay, when I'm finding perimeter, I'm going to find the distance around the triangle. So what am I going to add up? Maya, what am I going to add up?
You are going to add up 9 plus 9 plus 10.
Plus 10. Good. And what am I going to get?
38, 28.
28. Good. 28 centimeters. Okay, now to find my area. My formula is 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to take half of the base is 10 times the height is 7.5. Now I could do this two ways. I could do 10 times 7.5, and then to take half of that, I could divide by 2. It also works just to take half of one of the numbers and then multiply it by the other number. Okay, who can tell me what the answer would be for this? Carly?
37.5.
37.5. Excellent. So area equals 37.5 square centimeters. Question, Gabe?
What's your YouTube?
I don't know. Okay, 2 for you to try. Okay, so your assignment is textbook, page 225, 6 through 11, and then also page 230, 7 through 12. It's just a few problems on finding area of parallelograms and triangles. You don't have to find perimeter, only area. Make sure you show all of your work. If you just submit answers, that will not be accepted as a homework assignment.